Today, we're covering key financial decisions that come with each decade of retirement. We're learning how Adventurous Angie turned retirement worries into a retirement bucket list. Plus, how to get a complimentary copy of our magazine, Retiring Today. Hi, I'm Molly Nelson here with Sean Honkamp and Lauren Merkle. And Lauren, a lot of people tell us, I know retirement is coming, but I just don't know what I should be doing right now.
Part of the hardest part about being prepared for retirement is there's so many decisions you have to make. Where do you find the information to help you make these decisions? And that is exactly why we created the magazine. And in this magazine, it's 90 pages of action-packed information, all centered around retirement. And it's easy to consume. We picked certain ages at age 50. Here's some of the things that you should be considering to be more prepared for your retirement. At age 59 and a half, at age 60, 62, 65, specific action items or things that you should be thinking about to help you be better prepared for retirement.
Yeah, that's what's inside the magazines, these retirement milestones, the decisions that are coming at each decade. But the cover features Adventurous Angie. And oh, was she fun to interview. Adventurous Angie, she is living out retirement. We're going to tell you a little bit about her in just a second. But really, before Angie got to live out the bucket list, Sean, she sat down with you in a visit, and she had been at the same company for 47 years, and she was facing a really big decision.
Her process was very common to a lot of people that we get to interact with. She knows that she's got some dreams. She has some savings. She's at a certain age. She's ready to move on to that next stage, but she isn't sure. She's never looked at her entire picture together. And that's the biggest thing she was looking for. She was looking for that relationship to ensure that she's starting to think about everything holistically and be prepared and informed for these new decisions that were going to be coming at her at this retirement stage of life.
Yeah, let's take another look at the magazine, because in there you're going to see pictures of Angie. She's golfing, she's biking, she is so adventurous. But before she pushed that retirement button, as she calls it in her own words, she had some worries. So we talked to her about those worries, and here's what she had to say.
So that next phase of life, when I'm worried about my finances and where am I at, where am I going to go, who am I going to talk to, it was always in the back of my mind, if I get those answers, I think I'll be able to retire. I feel that I can, but I need those answers to all these questions I had. And so back before I retired, I'm like, I have all these questions. I need all these answers. And so once I get them, I think I'm on the retirement road.
And I think what Angie had to say resonates with a lot of people that head towards retirement with more questions than answers.
Yeah, a lot of people in Angie's situation have more questions than answers. I mean, take a look at Angie. She worked 47 years, and now she's entering a phase of life that she's never entered before, which brings problems that she's never had before, questions that she's never had before. And that's what she was really expressing, the anxiety that comes along with that. She's ready to retire emotionally. She just needs to make sure financially she's on the same page.
Yeah, and that's what all our questions were about, were those financial aspects. That's kind of why we put this magazine together too. It's designed to help reduce the worries and bring some clarity. Here's a look at how you can get your complimentary copy of Retiring Today Milestones Edition. It's retiringtodaymagazine.com. So let's go through some of those milestones. The magazine generally, Sean, starts at age 50, which if you're getting ready to retire at 65, 50 might feel like, why would I need to start planning at 50? But there's some key things you can do at 50 that can put you in a better position to retire.
Age 50 and into those early years of the 50s, that is the perfect time to start planning and thinking more about what that next stage of life is going to look like. It's the nature of planning. The sooner you put that plan in place, the sooner you can start implementing some of these strategies. One important one that comes into age 50 is that now you have a bigger funnel in which to save more money for retirement through those employer plans and IRAs. Prior to age 50, the maximum 401k limit was $24,500. Now at age 50, that jumps up by $8,000. So now everybody out there, you can contribute up to $32,500 into your 401k or other employer plans, and that's going to put you in a better spot. You're going to have more saved at retirement.
Not only can you save more for retirement, but you also need to really hone in on where those contributions are going to go. Now with 401k plans, or most employer-sponsored plans, you contribute to the pre-tax side, which means your contributions go in, you're not taxed on them, they grow tax deferred, But when you retire, when you take that money out to live on, you will be taxed at your ordinary income tax bracket. That might make the most sense. However, most 401k or employer-sponsored plans now also offer the ability to contribute to the Roth side, which means when you contribute to the Roth side of your employer plan, you're taxed on it when it goes into the plan, but it grows tax-free. So when you take this money out to live on when you retire, it comes out tax-free. And so there is a lot of strategy that you can implement between age 50 and age 60 from a tax standpoint, just with your 401k contributions, not to mention some of the other tax strategies that you can also be thinking about as well. And in this magazine, we put in the checklist a lot of these tax strategies that you should be considering as you go through the 50s and get ready for retirement.
You know, when we sat down with Angie, so we interviewed her for the magazine, and we used some of those clips in today's show, and then a lot of the stories go into the magazine. At the very end of our time with Angie, I asked her, what would you do differently? And again, remember, this is somebody who's now living out their bucket list. We're talk about but had worries. I said, what would you do differently? She told me I would have started sooner. She felt like there were some things in her 50s that she could have been doing with her 401k that she just wasn't certain if she was making the right choices. You sat down with her. Now, she can't go back in time, but the nice thing is she started getting those answers, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but she was able to retire even earlier than she thought she could.
We know we can't go back in time, and that's a common topic or discussion point that comes up as we start building these plans for the first time with people. They start realizing what they can do and how important that is, and they wish they could go back in time. But that's exactly where Angie was. She was at the point in time, I remember sitting down with her, where she's ready to start living for herself. She got referred to us. She has a coworker that we work with, so he had good things to say about us. But Angie knew a little bit about us. You don't really get to know everything we get to do unless you get to have your own experience and start seeing all the topics. But Angie was ready to start living for herself. I remember her sharing that she hadn't had a big vacation, or at least many vacations, for what she said several years. And she's active. She likes to do these things, but she was very dedicated to her work, had lots of good relationships. So that was going to be a big step for her to get to that point and move away from that. But she was really looking for that confidence. She didn't think she could. She had that age 65 marked out there. She didn't think she was in a position. That's a presumption that a lot of people make because they don't have that comprehensive plan. So as we met with her the first time and then continued to meet with her, you could just see the excitement build, where she started to sense more and more that this was going to be an opportunity to retire sooner than what she was previously planning for.
Retiring before 65. See how Angie was able to do it, and learn more about our magazine, Retiring Today, Milestones Edition, or go ahead right now and download your complimentary copy at retiringtodaymagazine.com. More on Adventurous Angie next. Welcome back to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Lauren Merkle and Sean Honkom. They're both certified financial planners and certified financial fiduciaries. Sean is also a CPA. So this age 65, Lauren, it's not uncommon for you to meet with people prior to 65 and them to say, I'm not going to retire until 65 because of Medicare.
Yeah, as a part of the first conversation, we asked them, when do you want to retire? It's not uncommon, just like Angie, to say, I want to retire at age 65. And a lot of people relate the retirement age with age of eligibility for Medicare, age 65. But once you actually look at what your plan could look like, evaluate all the healthcare options like Angie did, it's also not uncommon that people decide to retire prior to age 65, just like Angie. Angie retired at age 64. On average, in this country, people retire around the age 62 or 63. So there's a whole host of people who have to figure out how to pay for healthcare prior to being Medicare eligible.
Yeah, Angie had a whole list of things she wanted to do in retirement. She was very concerned about that healthcare piece. Here's what she had to say.
Can you afford it? Can you not afford it? You could get on the internet and try to figure out which marketplace plan is going to fit for you. But I went and talked to Anna Marie, and she is so on health plans and what might be best for me. Well, she talked to me. What's your health? And what do you have going on? And here's some retirement health plans. And so just take a look, because this will be your cost on the monthly rate. And it was medical and dental, if I want vision and so on. And so it was all pertaining to me. I'm like, okay, well, let's just see what the number is first, because I have an idea of what is affordable for me each month. And boy, was I surprised that I could actually afford the medical plan before I turned 65 and had to go to Medicare.
So Sean, you showed Angie that she could afford it. Take us through what that process looks like.
Like a lot of people, she was concerned about the cash flow and the income. The most common concern is, do people have enough saved? They want to feel confident. So Angie was no different. Her biggest concern was the cash flow. She had a good sense of what her lifestyle was. She wanted to feel confident that she could maintain that lifestyle while also allowing for an additional $500 a month for her fun bucket and all of her bucket lists. So she needed to see that. And that's part of us helping her people and Angie develop their income plan. We have all this best information. We get to know you really well. We get your information, and now we can help paint that picture. So with Angie, we knew what her savings were. We know what her lifestyle, her monthly need was, and she had never seen that before. So once we put all that information together, we could give her a sense of what her retirement looked like over a 20 and 30-year time period. And that all helped her get that confidence she was looking for to be able to make that decision to retire at age 64.
And Lauren, in that clip that we just heard from Angie, she mentioned Anna Marie Morrow, Director of Medicare and Long-Term Care. We've got to mention her here too, because she's a big piece of the puzzle here. You guys work very closely with her to help people understand their options when it comes to healthcare before Medicare.
Yeah, for many of the families and individuals we work with, Anna Marie is one of those superheroes because Medicare healthcare is so complex. And just like what Angie said, she wants to know what plans are available to her, what are the benefits she would receive from those plans, and what are the costs. And then Sean helps her identify how she's going to pay for it, can she afford it, all that kind of stuff. But taking the complexity out of healthcare is what Anna Marie does. Having a conversation with her, that's exactly what she shows the families and individuals we work with. Here are the different healthcare options available to you. Here are the benefits to you. Here's some things to consider, some things to look out for, and then here are the costs. And then it's very simple to make that decision. Do you wait to retire for Medicare? Do you retire early, reclaim some of those earlier years and use COBRA or some other healthcare exchange options? Those questions, the answers to those questions become a lot easier.
The Retiring Today magazine goes more in depth in the 60s section, the 60s milestones on this, but it goes over COBRA, the open market, and Medicare decisions before age 65. That's retiringtodaymagazine.com. But let's get back to Angie. Here's what Angie had to say about gaining more time for those bucket list items.
I don't have one bucket list. I have bucket lists. So my things that are on my bucket list, a hot air balloon ride. And I want to just go to the hot air balloons that are happening here in Iowa. I want to go to the state fair 1 or 2 days straight and find out and see the whole state fair, because I don't think you could see that all in one day. So those two things are on my bucket list. And other things that are on my bucket list is just to learn new things. So I've talked about maybe with my coworkers, hey, tell me about pickleball. I'd like to learn how to do that. And I find out all these people know how to play. I want to learn. So I want to learn that. And then, of course, hey, then you have the one side where you have all these things you need to do at your home that you never had time for. And so that bucket list is not sometimes fun, but it is when you get the end result of, hey, finally I get this done in my home. It looks great now. My she shed is organized now, where I never had time to. So those were just some of the things I have on my bucket list.
And I recently checked in with Angie. She is living out her retirement bucket list. Here's a picture of her. She's been coming to a lot of the Merkle Retirement Planning lifestyle events. She's just crushing this retirement thing. She recently came to our bowling event. This winter, she made porch pots with us at the Knoyer Garden Center in Grimes. She did make it to the Iowa State Fair. She also made it to the Florida State Fair, horseback riding, Center Grove Orchard. And I just want to give you an update on the hot air balloon thing she spoke to. She tried a couple of times to get up in hot air balloons. As you may know, the weather can very easily ground the balloons. So she hasn't made it yet, you guys, but I'm positive.
She still has time.
There is no doubt in my mind that Angie will be up in a hot air balloon soon. And it is so fun. I'm kind of jealous about this part because I don't work with the families and individuals that we serve, but you get to sit down. Angie comes back into you. You sit down for a visit. You're like, how's retirement going? It's got to be so fun to see somebody crushing it after you help them develop a plan.
It's the joy. I mean, that's such a rewarding part of what we get to do. It's one thing to talk about it It's one thing to plan for it. It's a whole nother thing to see you experience it and get to live it through Angie. And she's comes in our office. She's smiling every time. She is energetic. I mean, she truly is and reflects who she says she is, the Adventurous Angie. And I know she's got a list. She's got different lists, right? She's got shoes for different seasons. She has gloves for different seasons. So she knows she's going to stay active. And I like that one thing she said where she realizes this isn't just a vacation anymore. This is just life now. And she is completely loving it.
And it's fun because we get to see Angie and so many other families live this out, but we don't want to make it all, seem like it's super easy. There's a little work that goes into this, Lauren. It's a comprehensive plan that Angie built, and that takes some work on the part of the entire team to make that happen.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, the work on Angie's side is she has to take the steps. She has to take the initiative to start the plan, which is hard for a lot of people to do for many reasons. But once she took the step, the initiative to say, I'm going to create a retirement plan, the work from her was pretty much done. She just has to talk about what she wants her retirement to look like. And then the rest of it is we put this plan together to say, here's the financial ways, here are the financial strategies, Angie, we need to employ together to make sure that you can have the retirement that you're dreaming about. And then she can have fun dreaming about what her retirement is going to look like. I think there was a statement that she made somewhere throughout the interview. Is like the only decision she wants to make in the morning is, does she grab her backpack? Does she grab her bike helmet or pickleball paddle, right?
Yeah.
That's what she wants to focus on, not all this other stuff. So she built the plan, not because she likes the financial aspect so much. She built the plan so she could do all the things that you just talked about, Sean, and she could do it with ease and less anxiety.
And you heard Lauren talk about taking that first step. So for you, maybe a good first step is the magazine. It goes more in depth on how to develop a retirement plan, how our team can help people develop a retirement plan. You can download your copy right now at retiringtodaymagazine.com. We'll talk more about Adventurous Angie and the RetireSecure roadmap next. Welcome back. I'm Molly Nelson here with Lauren Merkle and Sean Honkamp, and we're talking about Adventurous Angie. She's kind of the star of our magazine, and her road to retirement is, we go in depth with that in our magazine, Retiring Today, Milestones Edition. Let's talk about kind of the nuts and bolts of putting together a plan. So here's how it went. Angie knew she wanted to retire. She had a bucket list of items, but then there was some stuff in between that needed to happen. So she sits down with you. You explained a little bit about her telling you that she wanted to retire, but what was kind of required on her end to get this whole ball really rolling?
It takes a little work to get to that point of having that comprehensive plan. We have some interactions, we get to know people. We ask Angie to provide as much personal financial information as she can. That allows our team to start building that plan. So part of that process is first to show Angie, well, based on what we know, here's how we're going to be able to help her. Talking about different components of having a retirement plan. Now she gets a good sense that she's feeling comfortable that, yes, this is what she was thinking about. This is what she was looking for. So we have that opportunity. And then at some point we look to make that decision. Angie's feeling great and confident. So she made that decision to say, yes, let's work together. Let's do this. She knew that this was going to help her. The plan helps provide us together the information we need so that as we're partnering, we're working together to make smart, informed decisions to help Angie get the most out of her retirement journey.
And we make that process really easy for people. And, Angie's a good example. She came in to talk to you for the very first time. There was nothing that she needed to provide to us prior to having a conversation with you, Sean. I mean, you guys sit down and you're talking about what? The first thing you guys are talking about, the lifestyle, right? All of Angie's bucket list items and the things that she sees for her retirement. And that's a really good conversation, not only for Angie, so she can express to us what it is she's trying to accomplish, but also for Sean, so he understands, we understand where this plan, how this plan really needs to develop. And then Angie and Sean decided they wanted to get together again. So Angie did provide us with statements. We did a bunch of analysis, and we really were able to determine here's some things that Angie's doing really well. She's set up really well in this space. Here's some opportunities for Angie that she can really implement from a strategy standpoint to help her feel better as she makes that transition into retirement. And it's in that second visit that you guys decided it's time to work together, right? You can help Angie, we can help Angie. Angie wants our help. And then we build out that retirement plan to show Angie all the strategies and really be that guide for her to help her with the strategies and decisions she has to make to feel really good going into retirement.
And what I really like too is that plan we build at once, that's not the end of that road, right? We talk all the time about how this thing's in pencil. We're going to make good decisions based on the best current information we have at any time. And now as we continue to interact with Angie, we have new information. We know now what she's doing more with her free time and what kind of travel and what she's spending. And as time goes by, we continue to manage that plan and continue to make good decisions along the way.
And I like that Sean said we, right? Because we've talked a lot about you sitting down with Angie. We mentioned that she sat down with Anne Marie Morrow, but it takes a whole team. It takes a whole team to put together a plan for Angie and to put together a plan for the individuals and the families that we serve. And that's what Angie told me when we sat down together was one of her favorite parts of the process.
So when I went to Merkle Retirement Planning and I had met with different members, different team members, I needed a health plan. They help with that. I needed a tax plan. They help with that. And of course, the financial plan, they help with that. So I have all these coaches. And when we had the end result, what the numbers are going to be, and the lifestyle I wanted, and my play money I wanted to use each month, I was ready, and I knew I was ready to retire. And so then came the bittersweet moments that I had to turn around and tell my management team that I was going to be retiring. Sad in one way that I was leaving a company after I worked there for 47 years. But on the other hand, I was ready. And I knew I was ready because Merkle Retirement Planning had given me the information I needed so I could make that decision.
And I just love how Angie really recognizes the team approach, Lauren. That's been so intentional by you over the years to put together a really great team to help people retire. And I know when you see stuff like that, you're just smiling from ear to ear.
Well, there's so much that goes into a retirement plan. It's way too much for one person, two people to put together. That's why we have created a team approach. And then that way, people like Angie get the best of everybody. They get an Anna Marie, they get a Sean, they get a Clint, they get a Haley and a Jeremy, all these people who have different types of expertise bringing it together to really make the best retirement plan possible. And what I really liked out of that soundbite from Angie is she said after she went through this process, she knew she was ready. Talk about confidence. Talk about something that's so magnificent as the rest of Angie's life. And she knew without uncertainty that she was ready.
Yeah, and then she could really just go crush that bucket list. Let's take a look at the visual representation of the plans that we help families build, rather. They're called a RetireSecure Roadmap. This outlines the 6 pillars: income, investment, taxes, healthcare, legacy, and lifestyle.
The most important one.
That's what kicks it off is lifestyle. Oh, I got it there, guys. And that's exactly what you helped Angie build, was a plan that covers all 6 of those pillars.
And we talk about all 6 of those pillars because there's different questions people are facing at any given time. Life doesn't just stay stagnant, and you can't just have every single item be a top concern. So life will ebb and flow. Retirement will happen. So at any point in time, the next time we get together with Angie or whoever we're working with, we might be talking about one of those 6 areas that maybe we haven't spent a whole lot of time on before. But at any given time, we're making decisions in one of those 6 areas. We know it impacts another area, another one of those 6 areas. So that's where that comprehensive part is so powerful. And Angie saw that. She knew we had this team, right? She has the coaches now. She's got a history in sports, so she loves the coaches. That's that feeling she took from interacting with us, so that she knew she had good people on her team to help her with whatever was going to be in front of her during retirement.
And if you can't remember all 6 pillars, don't worry. We put all 6 in the magazine.
I need to read it better.
All 6. We have the checklist of the different pillars and very succinct action items that you can take to put yourself in a better position.
Yeah, the magazine is a great resource. It's got those milestones, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So if you're 50 and older and you want to start dreaming about retirement, it's a great resource. It's Retiring Today, Milestones Edition. You can get a complimentary copy right now at retiringtodaymagazine.com. This is Retiring Today, and we thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Click here for more great videos, and don't forget to subscribe for more retirement planning content.